Life is not a path to walk, it is a jewel shining now. You can live 100 years and never taste life, or you can see it all in a single moment. The beauty, the simplicity, the aliveness. It requires no effort, no belief, only one thing: stop, fall into the now, disappear as ego, and become life itself. Truth is not in the future, it is here. The mind is always searching. More knowledge, more success, more meaning. But truth is not found. Truth is realized in silence. Close your eyes. Feel your breath. Listen to the space between words. There it is. You don't find truth with the mind. You become it by stopping the search. You don't have to become someone. You already are. The world teaches you personal development. Improve this. Fix that. Become better. But who said you are not already whole? You are not a project. You are a presence. You are the rhythm of the universe in human form. Drop the idea of becoming. Fall into being. And finally, you will know what it means to live. Love is not something you do. It is what you are. You cannot manufacture love. You can only remove what blocks it. Love is not a feeling towards someone. It is a space, a perception. When you love, you see, and you don't want to change. You don't need. You don't hold. You simply are. You can be alone and feel love. You can be silent and radiate love. Love is not something you give. Love is the fragrance of presence. Fear is resistance to life. You fear because you want life to be different. You fear loss because you think you own. You fear pain because you only want pleasure. But life is whole. It does not divide. If you reject pain, you reject half of yourself. If you deny death, you can never truly live. Freedom begins when resistance ends. When you say, yes, let it all be, I am open, and suddenly fear disappears because the need to control disappears. You are not the watcher. You are life itself. You think you are the one who thinks. You believe you are your mind, but the mind is just a screen. You are the space behind it. You are the silence watching the story. As long as you identify with the form, you suffer. But if you go deeper, you start recognizing yourself in everything. The sky, the wind, the eyes of a stranger. You are not part of life. You are life in all its forms. Life is not a problem to be solved. It is a dance, a mystery, a song without lyrics. But you were taught differently. They told you, be serious, achieve, become someone. So you started chasing life like a ladder to climb. But life is not a ladder. It's not a race. It's not a rule book. Life is right here, in this breath, in this silence, in this moment. And you miss it because you're busy. Busy thinking, busy planning, busy becoming. But there is nothing to become. There is only being. Everything is already here. Everything is already perfect. And finally, the most important thing, nothing needs fixing. You are not a mistake. The world is not a mistake. Your pain is not a mistake. Everything that happens is part of the flow. You can resist, but the current will remain. Or you can relax, trust, and see. Even chaos dances by laws you don't yet understand. Perfection doesn't mean smoothness. Perfection is that everything is alive, real, and moving. Let everything be. And for the first time, you'll know what it means to be truly alive. The true self is not an image. It is space. You are not who you think you are. You are not your biography, not your thoughts, not your achievements, not your fears. You are the one who observes all of it. You are not the form. You are the awareness in which form arises. When you look inward, You don't find a center. There is no I that controls everything. There is only emptiness, openness, space, and in that is paradoxical strength. You stop being something and become everything. Freedom is inner maturity. You think freedom is doing whatever you want, but real freedom is when you no longer need to do anything to be. You don't need to prove anything, don't need to be someone. You just are, and that is enough. Freedom is not from the world. It's from the need for the world to be any certain way. Freedom is internal. You can be in prison and be free. You can live in luxury and be enslaved. It's a choice, to be real or to wear a mask. Happiness is not something you get. It's what you become. Happiness is not a goal, not a point on the horizon, not when I find love, not when things get better, not when I'm recognized. It's a state, a result, a side effect of deep connection with the present. You cannot be happy in the future. You can only be happy now. And the more you realize this, the less you search, the more you simply live. You see beauty in the small. You feel grateful without reason. You let go and keep breathing. Suffering is an invitation, not a punishment. Every pain, every wound, every loss is a door, but you look at it as the enemy. And yet, it's exactly what points the way inward. Suffering is not a mistake. It is a tool of awakening. When you suffer, the mind weakens. The personality cracks. And if you don't resist, you pass through. You become quieter, softer, deeper. You begin to understand others. You become compassionate because you've been there. Don't reject pain. Embrace it. Be present with it. And you will see, within it lies liberation. Love is not possession. It is space. Love is not about holding, not about being needed. It's not a deal, not dependency, not safety. Real love is a risk. It is freedom. You allow the other to be, even if that means not being with you. And in that lies immense strength. Love that doesn't hold, doesn't fear. It doesn't control, because there's nothing to lose. It arises when you stop demanding, when you become whole, when you no longer need, but radiate. You're not searching to fill a void. You're sharing from fullness. The mind creates problems. Consciousness dissolves them. Everything you call a problem is born in the mind. The mind interprets, judges, divides. It says, this is good, this is bad, this is success, this is failure. But reality is beyond categories. It just is. You suffer not because life is harsh, but because your expectations don't match it. Consciousness is when you look at life without interpretation, without trying to change it, without inner conflict. That doesn't mean passivity. It means clarity. You begin to act, not from fear, but from insight. Not to avoid pain, but from understanding. Consciousness is when you stop arguing with life. Meditation is not a technique. It is a return to the present moment. Most people think meditation is sitting with closed eyes and trying to calm down. But that's not meditation. That's just another form of effort. True meditation begins when the need to control disappears. You simply allow the moment to be exactly as it is. You hear the sound, you sense the smell, you feel your body. Everything becomes alive. You're no longer separate from life. You are everything that happens. When you are fully here, there is no fear, no time, no tension. There is only breath, movement of life, and you inside it. Meditation needs no condition, no retreat, no isolation. It only needs one thing: awareness. Lightness is not superficiality. It is depth without struggle. People confuse lightness with naivety. They think lightness is weakness, but look at the river. Look at the sky, at the clouds. Do they fight? Number. They simply flow, simply exist. And in that is their strength. Lightness does not deny complexity. It is inner stability without resistance. You let the heaviness pile up, from expectations, from opinions, from thoughts, from voices that aren't yours. Let it go. That weight isn't yours. You don't need to be someone to earn the right to exist. You don't need to conform to be worthy of love. Lightness is when you start living your own truth, and then you realize everything unnecessary starts falling away. To become, to build yourself, to improve, to outdo others. But to be doesn't mean to become. To be means to stop, just to return to where you already are, without effort, without tension, without the need to be someone else. All the masters, from Lao Tzu to Krishnamurti, spoke of one thing: returning to yourself, to the source, to stillness. And the more you chase, the further you are from home. You were never lost. You were just too busy to notice where you are.